I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Marla Esser Cloos. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's a great pleasure to connect with you at this time, actually. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
All right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
I believe that would be my podcasting for the Green Gab podcast.
Yeah, you're a podcaster. It feels like family when someone says they're a podcaster.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. It's like you know me and I know you. It's fascinating. At least our journey, right, as podcasters.
I love it.
Yeah.
I tripped on it. I didn't really have intention to do it, but it's been a huge blessing.
Yeah, tell us, how did you get into it?
It's kind of a long and convoluted story, but I'd had a plan a couple of years ago to really go on the road as a speaker and push my workshops, and push was the wrong word, but to really share what we were teaching through those workshops. And my fiance at the time, now my husband, was diagnosed with a benign brain tumor. And so I stopped all travel. And about 5 or 6 weeks later, a business colleague of mine said, "Hey, I'm going to start up this little podcast thing. You want to give it a try?" And I did, and the rest is history.
1 year, 3 months after, and you're doing the Green Gab podcast. That's fascinating.
It'll be 2 years in February.
Oh, there we go. Wow. How has it impacted your life?
A lot. It has opened up so many doors and has given me the opportunity, most importantly, to share so many of the people I know and what they're doing and the fabulous impacts they're making in the world of green and sustainability, and how to bring that just to an everyday conversation.
It's amazing. Like, I think when you're speaking, you should be using the keyword close every single sentence.
I am close. You're right.
Exactly, right? Well, do tell us, where's the best place for us to connect with your podcast?
That would be greengabpodcast.com.
Wonderful. That's fascinating. Well, do tell me, why will you, now that you've been doing this for almost 2 years come February, will you continue to repeat this skill of podcasting?
I will.
There we go.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, this is the recorded version, so anytime you decide that you're going to stop, you play this, right?
My incentive. There you go.
And Marla, tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
I have kept going. We've had some really tough challenges come up in our personal and work lives, and we've just kept going. And I think that's important.
How is your husband doing now?
He's doing much better. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. How does it make you feel understanding that one of the keys to your success is to keep on going?
It makes me feel, number one, very hopeful that if you just keep going, it makes a difference. And people do eventually start to tune into that. And sometimes it's just, you got to keep going with that conversation until it's the right time for someone to hear it and to receive it.
Yeah. You're a giver, aren't you?
I am a giver.
So just to someone that's listening, why they should do what you've done by sticking it out.
It's really what it all comes down to, right? Every day we show up. Every day we make a little difference. And it's really all the little things that add up in our life. As exciting as the one big thing is, they don't come along that often. And they're really just a whole series of the little things anyway.
Love it. Amazing audience. You're hearing it live here from Marla Esser Cloos. Again, she is the podcast host of the Green Gab podcast. Do check that out. Marla, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
That's good.
What is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory is actually the day that John F. Kennedy was shot.
Wow. How old were you at that time?
About 1.5 years old, almost 2 years old.
How did you receive the news?
Yeah, I've confirmed this with my mom because she didn't believe I could remember that far back. But I shared some details that I remembered with her, and they were accurate.
Yeah. It's funny, I've heard people come on the podcast and they say scientists have said that you aren't able to remember things before the age of 3. But I've heard some memories a lot around 2, 2.5, and confirmed memories before that 3 years. So I'm not too sure scientists are correct about that. I'm going to trust what people are saying, right? That's just me. But yeah, how did you receive the news of John F. Kennedy dying? Paint the picture for us, please.
Mom received a phone call, and I remembered the phone call coming through and her getting very emotional and then turning on the TV to watch the news. And it impacted me so much because I also learned later that my father was actually in Dallas, and he had just seen JFK within a couple of hours before he was shot. And it was just such a traumatic time. And I've also just, in your time capsule, I've given away my age. So I'm a young older folk. But the legacy that was left by, John F. Kennedy's death, I think was really impactful, especially for people that were a part of that, or just even a part of being there. And just the fact that my dad was there, I think just really stuck with me.
That's amazing. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind in that memory?
Yeah.
I love the idea of seeing that little girl that has had her antenna out for what is emotionally going on around her. That's fascinating to me, to see your emotional compass, if you would, and how it impacts your decisions. You expressed to us that your husband scenario changed with his health and you immediately adjusted. However, which is great, you didn't stop, right? Things actually worked out for the better, where now we get to hear you on the Green Gab podcast, right?
You got it.
It's fascinating how that connects to me.
Wow. Very insightful.
You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I'm going to have to go with the Partridge Family.
All right.
I Think I Love You. And so, kind of...
Adds up, right?
Funny, weird that we just lost David Cassidy. So, but that's definitely a time capsule back in my back.
He was amazing, wasn't he?
I grew up on Partridge Family and Brady Bunch and all that, and just a different time.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Marla?
I'm ready.
Marla, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Not yet.
Are you married? Yes. Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Depends on the day.
If you, Marla, had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Marla Esser Cloos, what would you say that is?
Empowering people.
Love it. Marla, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, just to remember, we're all in this together, and every little bit that everyone can do adds up. And if we get a lot of little things going, we bring change.
And we can get closer to what is necessary to grow. Because closer is the word, right? Marla Esser Closer or Close. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute Convos with Angel Jones.
And thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being on 12-minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, a focus on diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.